Hello, everyone. We're just seeing the numbers climbing in the attendees in the audience list. So thank you for being here. We're going to get started very, very shortly. We'll just give it another minute. Okay, it's a quick minute. We're going to get started. Thank you so much for being here today for OARC's Webinar Wednesday. Today's webinar is called Connecting, Growing, and Empowering, where we reintroduce your Ontario Association of Residents Councils. Some of you on this call or on this session already know us very, very well, and some of you might just be getting to know us. So this is a session for you and for us to get reacquainted and to share some exciting news too. Okay, please join me in a land acknowledgement before we get started. Together, let us now pause as we acknowledge the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today, from wherever we are virtually participating in today's meeting. Let us take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the land we each call home. We do this to affirm our commitment and responsibility to improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. We acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people who call this nation home. Let us now join in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and ongoing challenges of the present, and to consider how each of us in our own way can move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Thank you. So just some housekeeping before we dive into our topic for today. This webinar is being recorded, so you will have access to the recording that will be available on our YouTube page as well as on our website. And a recording also is sent out to everyone who's registered for the webinar today, in addition to the slides that are used. So you will notice that the chat box is disabled for this presentation, and that's just to minimize any distractions so we can stay focused on our topic. But we do have the question and answer box that is available to you. And I really hope that you would populate that box. If anything comes to mind, if you've got a question about OARC or about our team, the services that we offer, please put that in the question and answer box. Mel Matheson, who you see on screen, our Education and Home Support Manager, is monitoring the question and answer box this afternoon. And so anything that you put in there at any point during the presentation, Mel will be answering those for you. And if there's something that we see that we feel is of importance to everyone on the call, we'll share those questions that have come in at the end. And lastly, right as you close the window at the end of this presentation, a pop-up will pop up and ask you to complete a survey. And your answers to these surveys are really important to us and help us improve our offerings going forward. And with that, let's go. So on screen today, you have myself, Stephanie Ventura. I'm the Director of Education with the OARC. We also have, as I've mentioned, Mel Matheson, who's our Education and Home Support Manager. And we have Laverne Simpkins with us. Laverne is a resident leader at his home and also with OARC's Resident Expert Advisor and Leader Group, or REAL group. And he's located in the eastern part of the province. Thanks for being here, Laverne. Hello.
Well, good day. I'm in Brockville, Ontario, and I am honored to be here.
Thank you so much, Laverne. Okay. So actually, I just skipped something. So as I mentioned a bit earlier, the purpose of today's webinar is to reintroduce you to your association, your Ontario Association of Residents Councils, and to share some exciting news about some positive changes coming to how we serve you. Some of you on the call may have already heard what our positive news is. Some of you on the call are our positive news. So we're so happy to have you here today to share in this announcement with us, and also to connect with us right at the start of the year. So a little bit about OARC, for just to reintroduce us and to introduce us to those of you who are new to our audience. OARC was actually created by residents over 4 decades ago. It's just a little bit older than I am, and it's a nonprofit association that provides a unified network for residents and for their residents' councils. So it was started by residents for residents. OARC is committed to the belief that residents' voices must be heard, their experiences valued, and their presence integrated. Their presence is integrated into the fabric of our organization and reflected in decisions made at the home long-term care home level, so within your homes, and also at the systems level. And I'm just going to pause for a second. I see there's something that's come up in the question and answer. No option to switch to speaker only view.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Anne was having issues, just she doesn't see me. She was only seeing you in her view. So she was just saying that unfortunately, there's no option to change on her viewpoint, and it's only speaker only. So she's
Oh,
just
I
having
see.
some technical issues.
I see. And you were getting tired of seeing my face already, and we're looking for Mel. Understandable. Thanks for your comment. Andrea too. Okay, we've taken note of that. I'm not sure why that is, why you can't see the everyone. I'm just checking something real quickly about how maybe it's something on our end, although I don't think so. Okay, we'll see if we can sort that out with our tech support in the background. Thank you for letting us know about that. So as I was saying, OARC was created by residents for residents. Resident engagement is at the center of everything that OARC does. We do everything with residents. Residents are actively involved in our governance structure, in our operations, in presentations like this one today, and in consultations with groups like researchers, the ministry, people who really want to hear what residents' lived experience is. So residents are involved in everything that we do. Um, Even today, OARC's board of directors, 25% of them are people who live in long-term care homes. So residents just like you who are watching. Okay. So OARC's mission is to empower Ontario long-term care residents to understand their rights, share their lived experience, and inspire a better tomorrow. And we do this by working together with our partners to educate, build a collective voice, and create positive culture change. So OARC works very closely with different organizations who help to support long-term care, and also outside organizations. So not only do we work with the Ministry of Long-Term Care, with Advantage Ontario, with the Ontario Long-Term Care Association, Family Councils Ontario, the Centers for Learning, Research and Innovation, Behavior Supports Ontario, all these great organizations and associations that work directly to support long-term care. We also work with groups like educational institutions, colleges, universities, Ontario Health, and other groups that are part of the community that we live in. So our vision is for every resident to shape the place they call home. So every single person has a voice, every single person has an opportunity to influence the place where they live. And that could be actively and also passively, just by virtue of being in that place, and the team members around you, the care providers around you, your neighbors knowing who you are, your likes and dislikes and interests, our vision is that those are taken into account to shape the places that you call home, to shape the long-term care homes that you live in. Our mandate is to assist and support residents in 4 areas here. So we are the only association in the province and actually in the country. We think in North America too. Laverne was just saying earlier that there's no association like ours that is mandated to work for the residents of long-term care. So our interest is primarily residents. There are other groups that help to support the actual operators of long-term care, of course, keeping residents in mind, but we are the only ones with a specific mandate to help residents, assist and support residents in doing these things. So one of them is forming, operating, and sustaining effective councils. It's right in our name, Ontario Association of Residents Councils, but that's not all that we do. We also help share and consolidate ideas and promote policies that improve quality of living for residents. So that looks like having Mel, who was currently our only team member, going across the province, visiting long-term care homes, and even our other team members hosting forums or hosting these webinars where we're hearing from you and hearing your great ideas and sharing them with other residents in other parts of the province, and bringing some of the concerns and issues that we're hearing from you to consultations with the Ministry of Long-Term Care. So just a little tidbit, one of the things that the early OARC was instrumental in getting done was the Resident Bill of Rights. So that evolved over many consultations with people living in long-term care and those supporting long-term care. And the Resident Bill of Rights was one of the core things that OARC helped to bring forward. Also, the requirement in legislation for every long-term care home to have a residence council and a residence council assistant. That came directly from OARC in consultation with people living in long-term care homes. The other point here is that we encourage residents to become participants in their long-term care homes, the operations of their long-term care homes, and within their communities. And lastly, to educate those in the community about what it's like to live in long-term care. You know, Mel and I, we're team members. We don't live in a long-term care home, so we can't know what it's like to live in a long-term care home, not like residents can. So bringing people like Laverne, his voice, all of our other resident leaders, your voices and your experiences forward is so important, and only you can speak to the issues that you experience, positive and negative. Okay. So some core services that OARC offers for residents and residents councils. I wonder, does anyone know of any core services for residents and residents councils? There's no points here, but if you put in the chat what you know about OARC and see, we can I can call out your name if you'd like me to, and let the audience know that you know all about OARC. So Mel will be looking at that. Okay, so we'll start with some tips or some spoilers if for those who are participating in this. Okay, so we provide education and training. What are we providing education and training on? Well, how to run a residence council, how to set up a residence council, how to keep a residence council going in your long-term care home. So every long-term care home must have a residence council. That's the law. And the question is, how do you run a successful council? How do you get people interested in participating in the meetings, interested in bringing issues forward? So we provide education on resident council issues, how to operate a council. We also provide education and training on issues of importance to residents. So that could be anything, and that's not resident council specific. It could be about residence council, but also about things like mental health or dementia education. It could also be about, you want to learn more about how the food budget is funded in your home, and how, other groups work with your home, what you can get involved in. So through the course of our work, through the course of our travels, and what we're hearing from you is how we decide what the topics for the webinars are going to be. It's directly from you. And then special topic sessions. Sometimes we have researchers reach out to us, or even students who are doing a project, groups who are creating a program for people who live in long-term care, even groups like the Registered Nurses of Ontario Association will reach out to us and want to hold special sessions about topics of interest to residents. So we can hold those special sessions or cross promote, like sometimes family council or another group that works with long-term care would like to collaborate on our platform, on this Zoom platform, and share what they're working on. So we do that as well.
So Steph, in our chat, there's a really great question about special topic sessions, and we are definitely open to residents providing us with certain topics and other team members that they would like to hear as well. And one of them in the chat, Julia, says, can there be an Aboriginal education? And this is something that absolutely.
Yeah, what a great idea. Thank you so much, Julia, for putting that in the question and answer box. Yes, we're hearing more and more from people who want to know about their neighbors who are Indigenous or who identify with certain groups. And so that's such a great idea to hear from that. What we like to do is connect with residents directly who are Indigenous or Aboriginal, have that lived experience, rather than, Melissa and I coming on here and sharing what we think their experience is like. It's really important for us to have people with that lived experience themselves and elevate their voices. So we might connect with you, Julia, and find out if there's anyone in your home who would be interested in. Oh, well, here we go. You're hot on the keyboard today. So Julia says, I have a whole home of residents that would love to speak on this from Iroquois Lodge. Thank you, Iroquois Lodge.
Yes, I would suggest you give Julia the form and have them come there. I would like to speak with them as well.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. What a great offer, and we will definitely be taking you up on that. Okay, so another service that OARC offers is tools and resources. And these have been created over the years. They're frequently updated. New tools and resources are being created all the time. Again, based on what we're hearing from residents and from residents' councils. So currently what we do have is a council resource guide. So this has the ins and outs of different ways to run a residence council. We also have a meeting agenda and meeting templates, opening and closing remarks for your meetings, fact sheets on a number of different topics that we've heard from you, some of them taken from our resource guide and just made into a 1 or 2 page document that's really easy to pick up and reference or bring to your residence council meeting. We have brochure templates so you can spread the word in your home about the residence council. A really popular tool that we have, or set of tools, are Resident Bill of Rights translations. So we have over 25 or 26 translations now, including in a few Indigenous languages. French, of course, some Indigenous languages, and then languages that we've been approached and asked if we could provide this translation. So if you're currently living in a long-term care home and you haven't seen the Resident Bill of Rights in the language that you speak, I would encourage you to connect onto our website or give us a call. I'll be sharing contact information later on in the presentation, and see if the language you're looking for is there. If it's not, you can connect with us and we will see about getting those translations into the languages that are spoken in your home. Okay, and then another topic that we're frequently reached out, that we receive a lot of questions about, is understanding the long-term care legislation. So every long-term care home in the province has to follow the same legislation, the Fixing Long-Term Care Act. And residents, sometimes team members, sometimes family members will connect with us asking for clarification on certain things. What does the law say about this? Or my home says that I can't have a fridge in my room. Is that what the law says, right? So we get lots of questions like this. I see Mel smiling because that's become a new hot topic, is what can and what can't I have in my home? Is it the actual law or is it my home that doesn't allow it? So it could be two different things. So how to understand and interpret the long-term care legislation when it comes to residence councils. And then a bylaws template, which I think, Laverne, you call this a charter of rights.
Charter bylaws is what I meant.
Oh,
But
okay, okay.
I always forget it.
Yeah, no problem. The bylaws template and also support for creating a code of conduct for your residence council. Are there any that I'm missing, Mel? Just checking the chat here.
Sorry, I lost my cursor. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good. It's a good, and we also have the webinars online and our YouTube channel. So if there's any past videos and stuff, we do have on our YouTube channel.
Great. Thanks, Mel. Okay. And another big bucket of support and resources that we offer are resident engagement programs. So sometimes residents, they want to connect with others from other homes. You've got some friends and neighbors in your own home, but you want to see what's happening in other homes and hear resident experiences from other parts of the province even, or even just to check and see, hey, this is what I'm experiencing at this place. Are others experiencing this as well? And what we've heard is that connecting with other residents from other homes helps for people not to feel as isolated. If they are feeling isolated, or if they are feeling like, geez, this only happens at this home, and then you join the resident forum and hear that, hey, this might be a common experience across the board, or this was an experience that someone was having, and here's how they improve the situation. So sharing some of those tips, some things that worked, and also just connecting on a human and friendly level. Not every person has someone that they can talk to within their home. And sometimes joining the resident forum and you meet other people that have similar interests to you maybe, but you're just separated by distance, by your postal code. So I know Laverne has a lot to share about the resident forum. Did you want to tell us your experience joining the
Okay.
forums?
First of all, my fear was that when I learned through OARC that everybody has to have a resident council. Now, a lot of homes will consider a resident council something that the home will run. And that's against the law. It has to be separate and independent. When I went to my first meeting here at St. Lawrence Lodge, we had the manager tell somebody to sit down and behave themselves. The manager of the assistant, I should say manager, but it's actually the assistant. And the assistant has no say on what the resident council is talking about. They are there to help bridge the gap between management and the resident council. That's all they're there for. They can suggest things, but they don't run things. And that's the way it was done. The former president, it was over 10 years in her position. She got tired and she was upset over the way that the resident council was running because she was stonewalled every time she tried to do something. Now, with the charter of and with the charter that in place now, of which OARC was a great help. Now we can't go back to there. We have stated how long the 2 years for the president, and then we have re-elections. We stated that, and that goes for any office. We state what the assistant does and what are their responsibilities. We stated how the order is on how the resident council has been running. We have our resident council running right for only a year, yet we are still getting opposition from management saying that we don't know what we're talking about. We don't agree with what you want. The residents have the right to say, look, we'd like to have this and that. We have the right to music. We have the right to have events. We have the right, of which I've been fortunate that our bazaars, we have a table dedicated for resident council. And also, for 2 years, I have gotten chocolates. And the proceeds, well, it's the
Yeah, I think you said it right. The
sales.
proceeds.
The
Yeah.
proceeds, yeah. The proceeds have gone to the resident council directly for our bank account. We even have had people say, you don't need a bank account. In the beginning, we had the assistants say, you don't need anything. I provide everything. I get in the ice cream truck and the chip truck and pizza. And that was not the right way to go about it. We don't have room for our own resident council room to be in because the building wasn't built for that. All our rooms are used practically now. So it's very important to be in leadership. You have to have the right combination. You have to have resident council working in cooperation with management to run the home. The nurses, the caregivers, and everyone else are all of the opinion that they know best. And that is not the way to run it. I just am really happy for the Resident Council Association because we would have been lost with everything. We would have been stonewalled. Yet now we have a voice because we have the information available. We have the needs. Our needs are there. If I phone Stephanie, for instance, and she gets back to me within a day, not like the government will take a week or a month. And
Thanks,
you won't
Laverne.
stonewall.
That's a really
Stonewall us.
a really glowing review, and I hope that we can continue to live up to your standards, Laverne. You mentioned some really important things here. One of them is what, there is legislation that governs all of these homes, and it talks about what has to be in place in terms of residence council. What does the home have to do when it comes to resident council? What are the responsibilities of the resident council itself? But the legislation only goes so far, right? It has the powers of the council listed. It talks about how the administrator or the leaders of the home will respond to the concerns and suggestions of the council, but it doesn't get into how do you do elections? How do you decide who will be the resident leaders of the council? How does the council assistant, how are they going to support the residents' council? And those decisions are to be made by the residents themselves. So not every home is the same. In some homes, residents council, they're very happy having the council assistant kind of lead how things go because there's a very close, trusting relationship there and they work well together. In other homes, the residents have the skills and the desire to do a lot of the planning and executing of the residence council. So the support from the council assistant doesn't need to be as much. And like Laverne said, it really is up to the residents what that support looks like. And so having those bylaws or the charter, like Laverne said, in place just gives you that chance to outline how the council itself wants things to go. We're not talking about the legislative part. That needs to happen. But there is flexibility in how the council operates based on the people who attend the meetings, based on the people who live in the home. In some homes, you've got residents who want to be the secretary and the treasurer and who are interested in that and want to do it. In other homes, the residents, that's one of the jobs of the council assistant to take the minutes, to manage the funds, that kind of thing. But I guess the overarching theme here is that residents are driving this. They're the ones who are in the decision-making seat. And the supporters of the council assistant, the home, the managers, the team members in the home are there to support the council. Thank you so
And a
much
lot of
for that.
a
Yeah.
lot of homes, people don't have the mental capabilities of being in management type of position. So they're farmers, they're factory workers, they don't know anything on what to do. And that's why we're here to teach you what to do and how you can operate the home in a cohesive manner.
Yeah, and we all have different skill sets, but what everyone can do is bring their own lived experience. So you don't have to be an expert on how to run a meeting, or you don't need to know everything about long-term care, but you can go to a meeting and you can say, "Hey, I really don't like the environment in the dining room. It's really loud for me, or it's too dark, or the food is late." You don't need to be an expert on long-term care to bring your experience and your opinions to the meeting. So I hope no one is discouraged from sharing their opinions and their voice with those who the resident leaders who lead the council. But Laverne, you're right. There are a lot of people who may even have those special skill sets who are still intimidated or don't feel encouraged to use those skill sets at the residence council. So we really appreciate you sharing your experience and talking about how you can get involved and also all of the things you do to get things running well at your place and for OARC too. So these are the types of conversations we have at the resident forum, and along with joking and laughing and talking about the holidays or what's happening in the home. So again, you don't need to know everything about OARC or about long-term care or about your home even. You just got to come as yourself, and you'll learn something, you can share something. It's a great place to be, and that happens once a week on a Thursday at 2 p.m. So that's just one way that residents can get involved with OARC and with each other. Through the resident forum, though, we're able to meet people and connect with people who we may then reach out to and say, hey, there's going to be a focus group on this particular issue, and I know that you're interested in this. Would you like to join this focus group? Or we've seen, like this has just happened recently with OARC's getting a new website. So there's a couple of residents in our resident forum who are super interested in technology and marketing. And so we're able to get to know them and ask them to be part of these special groups. Opportunities, again, to be part of research. So if you're living at Iroquois Lodge, you have a unique experience that the majority of people living in long-term care don't have. So there are researchers out there who want to know specifically about your experience. So through the resident forums and through our home support program and the outreach that we do, we can connect you to things like that if you're interested. And then, of course, we have our resident expert advisor and leader group, our real group, of which Laverne is part of that group. There's also, if you are interested in learning more about this group or being part of this group, that information is on our website, or you can contact us and we'll walk you through what that looks like. And then support for Residence Council Weeks. Residence Council Week takes place the third week of September every year. And it's an opportunity to unify the councils across the province and hear the great things that Laverne's council is doing and the great things that the council at Iroquois Lodge is doing or in other homes, and celebrate your achievements and the support that you offer each other. Okay.
I might say that a lot of researchers will go to OARC so that they can have the real background on what it's like to live in a long-term care home.
Absolutely. Thank you, Laverne. So in addition to offering services and support for residents, we do often hear from resident council assistants, team members, administrators, even people at a corporate level who help to support the homes. And we offer presentations, consultation, problem solving, one-on-one support, and of course, education that's similar to what's for residents, but also some things that are specific for team members. So team members are always welcome to connect with us and learn more. Okay, so now now that we've just done a quick overview of the services and programs that we offer, and these services and programs are available for any long-term care home. We're mandated to support all long-term care homes in the province, whether you are a member or not. So you don't have to pay for any of these services. These are all available to you at no cost. The Ministry of Long-Term Care funds OARC and this support for residents. So no need to worry about having to pay to participate in any of these sessions or any of these services. They're all available to you for free and accessible on our website and through contacting us.
Thank you, Steph, for mentioning the website and from contacting us, because that question did occur in the in the questions is where do we find the tools and resources? So thank you I was going to jump in, but you caught it. And so there you go. So the website under education and support.
Thanks, Mel. Okay, so in June 2022, OARC conducted a survey, the Resident Voices Survey, and this was part of a province-wide environmental scan. We wanted to check on what the state of residence councils in Ontario long-term care homes was coming out of COVID. So we wanted to know about the roles that the council has within its home, any challenges that they perceived, or any opportunities to improve. This survey garnered over 1,000 individual responses, and over half of those responses came directly from residents. So this was open to residents, resident council assistants, and administrators. over half the respondents were residents, and we got the findings that we received came at a high level of confidence because we had at least one answer from 300 out of the 630 long-term care homes in the province. So about half of the long-term care homes in the province, we had one or more answers or people who filled out the survey. So we heard you loud and clear when you told us that you need more in-person visits, more touch points with OARC, more access to our services, and more opportunities to connect with us. We presented these findings to the Ministry of Long-Term Care, and we're so pleased that they listened and acted on what they heard. So OARC, we're proud to tell you that thanks to enhanced funding and resources provided by the Ministry of Long-Term Care, our team is able to expand to serve you better. So I think you heard a little bit earlier when I mentioned that Mel was our only team member who traveled the province visiting residents in person. That was a big part of her role. And visiting councils in person, delivering presentations, hearing directly from you without technology in the way. And just to put some more context for you, our previous team was only 7 people. So Mel was one person who was that was part of her role. So we were able to expand our team. So instead of having one person who's traveling the province meeting with you, we are able to have 4 people. So 4 team members who will be going into different parts of the province and meeting with you, visiting your home, sitting in on your resident council if you invite them, sharing publications and communications and tools directly with you. So just for a little bit of context, or just a little bit more information, we've broken up the province into 4 regions, and each of our new team members, of our 4 new team members, will be responsible for overseeing one of these regions. So we will have, and we're calling them coaches. So these are our regional coaches. We'll have one coach up in the northern region, one coach in Eastern Ontario in the East region, one in the West, and one in the Central region, which includes Toronto. OARC used to be able to visit about 50 long-term care homes in person in a year through Mel's work with only one team member. And Mel was the one who was learning what was important to residents, sharing ideas, sharing information, and providing info and education sessions. As of February 2nd, our home support team will be complete, and we'll have those 4 team members who will be ready to connect with you, set up visits, have a phone call or a Zoom meeting with you, and start building their schedule of when they're going to be in your home and when you can expect to meet them. Mel, do you have anything to add to that? It's been a long process.
Yeah, just that it has, as you noticed, we started in 2022 with the survey, and then we gathered the information, and then we put together the proposal, and now in 2026 we're starting. So it is a long process, but we're here and we're very, very excited about this. I think it's just so great for me to know that I get to be a part of this, leading this team. And with 4 more people, I will be still doing in-home visits every so often to support as well within the central region, because it is a little bit larger of more homes there. But, getting people to do multiple home visits with you and to get out to more of you is really, really been, to be honest, sometimes it's been really hard to say no to certain people, or to say, you know what, unfortunately, I can't come out till next year. It's almost very heartbreaking for me when I know that people are wanting us to come in and support. So now we don't have to do that. And that is just such a blessing. So I'm very excited where this is going.
Thanks, Mel. Yeah, and in the previously, in addition to this support from the ministry to hire more people, it also came along with an increase to our travel funding. So
Mhm.
whereas before we might have only been able to get up to Thunder Bay once every 5 years, now we're hoping that our northern team member could get to Thunder Bay maybe twice a year instead of
Mhm.
once every 5 years, a couple times a year. So that repeat visit is will be something we can offer within a year, and as Mel said, not have to wait for the next 5 years when we can get up out to that region. So we're super excited. If we seem a little bit subdued, it's because we've had 2-3 weeks of excitement and just looking forward to being able to connect with more of you and hear more of what's happening, what you're looking forward to, what your challenges are, and how we can help. Okay, so this is Andrea's question here, I think, from earlier. How do you access OARC services and support? Okay, so our website, we're undergoing a website update. So we're going to have a brand new website sometime in the spring. But currently, our existing website, everything is on there. You might have to do a little bit of digging, but this is the place to go for self-service. So if you have some time and you are somewhat comfortable using the websites and the internet, have some time to spend, we've got everything on there. All of our recorded webinars from, I think, the past, 3-4 years, and anything previous to that is on our YouTube. We've got contact information for all of our team members and our resident leaders, our board. We've got tools and templates, how to sign on to or how to register for a webinar and for those forums. You can also find that information there. All of our newsletters, publications, reports, details about the research project that we did, the Resident Voices survey there's a page on there as well. And that's all accessible on our ontarc.com website. You can also sign up for our newsletter and mailing list there. If you're looking for some customized support or you're not quite sure how to navigate the website, we are always available through email. And this is just our general email address, info@ontarc.com. You can reach out to us there and someone will direct you to the right person. So even if you're not quite sure who on the team you want to speak to, or you're looking for who your new regional coach is, you're Andrea, you live in Ottawa, and you want to know who your Ottawa person is that you can start connecting with, a good start would be this info@ontarc.com website. You will be directed to the right person there. And even if you've gone onto the website, you haven't found what you're looking for, connect with us and we can point you in the right direction. This is also a good place to go to request a home support visit or call. So if you're having an issue with your council or you just want to get more information about any topic, if we can't help you with what you've called us for, we can point you to another organization that might be able to help you. But one thing that we've heard is a positive. One positive thing we've heard is that if we don't know the answer, we'll send you along to the person who does, but you'll never hear from us. We just don't do that. Sorry. We'll try and send you along as best as possible. And this is also the place to receive tailored advice and recommendations. So what we have on our website is general. It could be applicable to multiple homes, but if you have a situation that you feel is very specific and you'd like some tailored advice or recommendations, you want to hear what's worked in other homes, you can reach us here as well. And our phone number is there. We've also got a toll-free line.
May I say that were my main source of information for the changes that were needed here.
Mhm.
And any home that you know of that needs help, has any question at all, don't hesitate and phone that number because they're there to help you. Many times you get a live person, and if you don't get a live person, you'll be answered within 3 or 4 days. That's how fast this small team has gotten back to me.
Thanks, Laverne. Okay, and what else? Oh, you know what, Laverne, actually, I don't know if I've ever asked you, how did you hear about OARC?
I can't recollect it now,
Yeah,
but I think somebody mentioned it to me. And I
okay.
think I went on the forum first. I got in touch with you and got on the forum. And then
Yes.
from the forum, I went into the reel and the rest of the group. But it was somebody mentioned that. And through talking to you on the forum, I got the information I needed to
Mm.
start the process of trying to get correction done here.
Yeah, I remember you joining the forum, and the first few times you were pretty quiet, and then we started to really get to know you, and we could see that you were feeling more comfortable, and now look, you're hosting a webinar. So you've come a long way in just under a couple of years. Another way you can get in touch with us is to follow us on social media. We know there's lots of residents who use social media and who are super tech savvy, interested in this kind of thing. You can follow us on X, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn at at OARC News. That's our handle. Another thing some of you might have discovered us by seeing a copy of our Seasons magazine in your home. So twice a year, a magazine is mailed out, a hard copy magazine to every single home in the province. And sometimes residents come in contact or first hear about OARC because they've seen a copy of this magazine on a coffee table or somewhere in their home. So look out for that copy of Seasons in your home. You can ask the council assistant if they've seen it. One will be coming out in the next couple of months. And I mentioned earlier, you can also join our mailing list, and that way you'll get our monthly newsletter, you'll get any bulletins that come out, special bulletins, and you'll stay in touch with everything that's happening at OARC. Okay, does anyone have any questions? I'm going to take a look at the question box and just see if there's anything, or Mel, if you could share anything that you saw that others might be interested in hearing.
Yeah, one of the other questions Andrea brought up was, or just mentioning that on the tools and resource section on our website, there are things called workshops.
Okay.
And so that would be home support in-person presentations. So if you are interested in those workshops, reach out to us and we will get one of the home support regional coaches to go out and provide that type of workshop with your resident council. Some of those workshops are with the resident council and your administrator and resident council assistant. So it can be like a team thing, team building. Some of them are just specific for resident councils.
Great, thank you. I wanted to share with you before we sign off, or we'll keep looking, we'll stay here with you till 3 o'clock and keep an eye on the chat there, or sorry, the question and answer box. But I did want to share that in our upcoming publications or upcoming newsletter, we'll be able to share with you the contact information for the regional coaches. So we do have two who have already started with us. And have, today's day 3 for them. And at the beginning of February, we'll have the other two starting. So certainly by the end of February, we'll be up and running, but I'm sure they would welcome having you connect with them once you get their email address and just say hello, welcome, and they'll look forward to meeting you. Okay, there's one question. Someone has asked if we still have membership. Do we still have to do membership annually per home? Yes. So that is an option for you to become a member of OARC. And what membership does, like we mentioned earlier, our services are offered to every home in the province. You don't need to be a member to receive service from us. But what membership helps us do, because we are a small team and our budget is small, it does help us to go to more places, to travel to more homes, in addition to what we're provided by the ministry for. It helps us to improve things like our website, which is a once in a, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but it's not something that you do all the time because it's costly. Um, any other comments about membership? So there is an annual membership fee. Some councils pay that fee themselves, and other homes, other councils, if they're part of a larger corporation, their corporation has actually decided to pay the membership fee on behalf of their residents' council. So it's a good question to ask your home. You can ask your council assistant, or you can even contact us if you're not sure. You can contact us and just say, "Hey, am I a member?" And we can look that up for you. It's one thing, not everybody knows that their home or that their residence council is a member of OARC because their head office or corporate office of the home pays that amount on their behalf. Um, Andrea, will we receive emails with the contact info for our own new coach? Yes. So we're planning on doing a special bulletin that has all the contact information of the new coaches. But in advance of that, if you take a peek on our website the next couple of days, I believe that as our new coaches start and as our website is updated, you might be able to find their faces and a short bio about them. So right now we have the Eastern coach and the Central coach who have already started. So Andrea, you're in luck. I think you're Eastern, right? Yeah.
Yippee.
Yippee. Yeah.
I was looking for the reaction so I could put the reactions in there, but it's dismantled during a webinar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we also will be just in our communications in the next couple months, we'll be introducing our coaches in the February newsletter and things like that. So stay tuned. We're not done promoting them and promoting what they do and getting the information out to you guys. So
Yes. Thank you all so much. It is 2:57. And thank you for spending this hour with us. We really appreciate having you here and your support in participating in these webinars, asking your questions, and look forward to meeting more of you this year in person. Thank you so much, as always, for supporting the work of OARC. Now, remember, you're going to close the box and the evaluation is going to pop up. If you could just take a couple of minutes to fill that out, that would help us a lot. Thank you
Thank you,
all.
folks, for all the hard work that you are doing on behalf of the residents.
Oh, thank you so much, Laverne. Thanks for being here.
thank you guys. Thanks for letting me join too, Steph.
My pleasure. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.